Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome. This is Somaliland National Television. You're watching the English news program. The name Mohammed Jibril. Here the stories making local headlines. Somaliland House of Elders approved the Bill of National Legislation. Mohammed Abdi Daoud held a press conference to discuss the forthcoming civic registration and called on citizens to take citizenship IDs. The United States has launched airstrike Islamic State targets in Iraq. A session was held by the Somaliland House of Elders to approve the Bill of National Legislation at the capital of Somaliland, Hargeisa. A session was held by the Somaliland House of Elders to approve the Bill of National Legislation at the capital. This session was led by the chairman of Somaliland House of Elders, Suleiman Mohammed Aden, and all the members of the House attended. This session approved the Bill of National Legislation, which has been point of discussion for the last sessions of the House. Bill of National Legislation happened to be one of the essential bills that are required to be reassessed by the members of the Elders. The members of the House voted toward this legislation and approved to be implemented. 41 members of the House raised their hands to vote for yes, while 2 members voted for no. 1 member remained silent and the chairman did not vote. This law is expected to take positive effect on the existing legislation. Conclusively, the chairman concluded the session by congratulating the attendees. An event focusing on the commencement of training for the government internal control system took place in the capital of Somaliland.
The event had in attendance a number of senior governmental officials, including the State General Accountant, Director General of Ministry of Finance, some of the departmental directors from the ministries, and other ministerial accountants. The State General Accountant, Mr. Mohammed Abdi Badeh, spoke on the importance of this training for the participants and reiterated the relevance of such training to the governmental employees. The State General Accountant stated that the membership of this association, named Somaliland Association of Accountants, is fair open for every individual. Mohammed Abdi Badeh, speaking on the occasion, stated that the aim of holding such trainings is to ensure that governmental bodies are transparent, efficient, and ethical, and responsibly working on their duties in order to meet the terms of the international standard on aspects of accountancy, and said that it's part of the reform campaigns being carried in the governmental agencies. He also pointed out that this association is working similar to other world accounting associations to maintain the term of the international standard. The State General Accountant stated that this association of accountancy was established on August last year and aimed to improve the skills and the profession of the accountancy in the country in order to pursue the international standard. This will enable to ease the steps to reduce challenges often faced. The Director General of Ministry of Finance, Suleiman Mohammed, has conclusively opened the training and highlighted that it's important for the governmental accountants to utilize it. The Director General commended Somaliland Association of Accountants for their efforts in developing the skills of accountancy in the different parts of the government. Finally, the Director General urged the trainees to exploit from the training and apply it into their job duties.
Mohammed Abdi Daoud held a press conference to discuss the forthcoming civic registration and called on citizens to take the citizenship IDs. Mohammed Abdi Daoud stated that bearers of the citizenship IDs will only be recognized citizens of this nation and will be eligible to all services. They will also be able to cast their ballots in the election to held. Mohammed Abdi Daoud, renowned politician figure and member of the Civic Registration Committee, discussed the underlying necessity of granting citizenship IDs to all citizens to ensure that Somaliland has reached objectives sought by international regarding its quest for international recognition. This interview held with Somaliland National Television by Mohammed Abdi Daoud has come at a time opposition figures have increasingly been voicing concern over the implementation of forthcoming civic registration, while the government says the opposition figures are conveying statements through media with the only intent of leading social unrest. Meanwhile, residents in the capital city and the country voiced their support for the forthcoming civic registration, indicating its commendable political leap for Somaliland, and described the opposition statement as a way of dividing the country along party line, having their own personal political motives. Minister of Interior has already vowed to hold the civic registration soon, within months, followed by the voters' registration being implemented by the National Electoral Commission to grant citizens eligible to vote with voter IDs to be able to cast their ballots in the approaching elections. Sheikh Aden Siro, who is one of the well-renowned religious figures of Somaliland, received a donation for the Somaliland diaspora toward the ongoing construction of Dogacad Road. Sheikh Aden Siro, who is one of the well-renowned religious figures of Somaliland, received a donation for the Somaliland diaspora toward the ongoing construction of Dogacad Road. This donation was handed over to the committee assigned for the construction of Dogacad Road that connect the capital of Somaliland, Hargeisa, to the northern side of the country. Sheikh Aden Siro stated the amount of the fund the committee received from diaspora donors for the accomplishment of this road is worth $6,936 and decided to hand it over to the committee assigned for this task. Sheikh Aden Siro sent gratitude to the individuals that sent this money for the own goodwill of their country. The head of the Dogacad Road Construction Committee, Engineer Hashi Abdi, received this donation from Aden Siro. Engineer Hashi, speaking at the event, admired the role of Somaliland diaspora to development of the country. He also mentioned that the Somaliland government also played a major role on the implementation of this road. Engineer Hashi sent gratitude to the Somaliland diaspora for their development-oriented vision of their homeland. Somaliland government focused to prioritize the enhancement of the country's infrastructure, where the public of Somaliland witnessed major infrastructural accomplishment. You still tuned to the English news program of Somaliland National Television, the only Somali-speaking channel with an English news program. And now for international headlines in detail. The United States has launched airstrike Islamic State or ISIL targets in Iraq in the expansion of its military campaign against the jihadists.
The United States has launched airstrikes at Islamic State or ISIL targets in Iraq in an expansion of its military campaign against the jihadists. It said the strikes were in support of troops under attack and took place southwest of Baghdad. 6 ISIL vehicles were also reportedly destroyed. The move follows US President Barack Obama's speech last week in which he vowed to hunt and destroy the militants. Until now, the US has restricted itself to supporting Kurdish fighters in humanitarian missions. It has conducted a total of 162 airstrikes across Iraq since August. On Monday, world powers meeting in Paris gave public backing